Have you ever stayed in something that was hurting you, even when you knew you could leave? A relationship that drained you, a routine that made you miserable, a situation you promised yourself you would escape. Yet somehow, you kept going back. Why? Because sometimes the human mind doesn't choose what is best, it chooses what is familiar. And that's where something strange happens. You can become more comfortable with pain you understand than with a better life you cannot predict.
Imagine someone named Alex. Every morning, Alex wakes up already tired. The job feels meaningless, the relationship feels empty, the same arguments happen every week. And every night, Alex thinks, tomorrow I'll change everything. But tomorrow comes, and nothing changes. One evening, Alex finally decides to leave. For a moment, there is relief. Then, fear appears. What if I regret it? What if things get worse? What if I can't handle being alone? And suddenly, the painful life Alex already knows feels safer than the unknown life waiting outside it. So, Alex stays. Not because Alex loves the pain, but because the brain knows how to navigate it.
This is one of the strange ways our minds protect us. Your brain is constantly trying to predict what comes next. It uses your past experiences to estimate the future. If something happens repeatedly, your brain becomes better at predicting it, even if that experience is unpleasant. You know what the argument will sound like. You know how the disappointment will feel. You know how the day will end. There is pain, but there is also predictability. And predictability can feel strangely comforting. The unknown is different. A new job, a new relationship, a new identity, a completely different life. Those things may be better, but your brain doesn't have enough information to predict them, and uncertainty can trigger fear. So your mind whispers, stay with what you know, even when what you know is hurting you.
This is why people sometimes return to relationships they know are unhealthy, why someone keeps repeating the same destructive habit, why a person can complain about their life for years, but feel terrified when real change finally becomes possible. The problem isn't always a lack of desire. Sometimes it's a conflict between familiarity and possibility. Your conscious mind says, I want something better. But another part of you says, at least I know how to survive this. And that sentence can quietly control your life. But here's the important part. Familiar does not mean safe, and unfamiliar does not mean dangerous. Your brain can learn to associate something with safety simply because you've experienced it many times. That's why people can become attached to routines, environments, or relationships that aren't actually good for them. The mind isn't always asking, is this healthy? Sometimes it's asking, do I know what happens next? And those are two very different questions.
Think about your comfort zone. People often imagine it as a comfortable place. But sometimes, your comfort zone is simply a place where your brain has learned the rules. You know how to behave there. You know what to expect. You know how to protect yourself. Stepping outside it means becoming a beginner again. And being a beginner can feel uncomfortable. You might fail, you might disappoint people, you might discover parts of yourself you've never met before. But growth almost always contains some uncertainty, because you cannot build a new life using only experiences your brain already understands.
So the next time you find yourself repeating something that hurts you, don't immediately ask, why am I so weak? Ask something different. What feels familiar about this? What am I afraid might happen if I change? What uncertainty am I trying to avoid? These questions create awareness,
And awareness gives you something powerful, a moment between the feeling and the decision. That moment is where change begins.
You don't have to change your entire life overnight. You don't have to become fearless. You only need to become willing to experience something unfamiliar. Because sometimes the life you're afraid to enter is the life your future self has been waiting for. Your mind may prefer familiar pain, but your mind can learn something new. It can learn that uncertainty isn't always danger. It can learn that change isn't always loss. And eventually, what once felt unfamiliar can become your new sense of safety. Because the goal isn't to become comfortable with pain. The goal is to become brave enough to discover what exists beyond it.